Thank you, Kaveh. It's a pleasure to be here. I want to present to you what I think could be a paradigm shift in the understanding of the history of the Israeli-Palestinian conflict. I hesitate of using the term paradigm shift because I suggested myself, and I don't want to be that pretentious that I can offer myself a paradigm shift. But I do think that the concept of ethnic cleansing that I would like to offer this evening as a paradigm, a prism through which we should view the history of the conflict in Palestine and Israel is a very helpful concept, politically, historically, and also legally. And I would like to start with a certain personal confession, in a way, that for someone like myself, before I will move to a more academic presentation of the concept, that for an Israeli Jew like myself, whose parents had been, whose parents came from Germany, and many of their members of their families had been, I think I'll wait for a second.
And there I was saying my convention to wait 5 minutes.
Yeah, sorry. All right. I would like to say that as someone whose family came from Germany and suffered, like many other German Jewish families, from the fate of Nazism, opting for the term ethnic cleansing was not an easy choice. I mean, I could find, and I hope I will convince you, all the right academic arguments for using this paradigm, but I want to stress, despite the fact that this is an academic meeting and not a political one or a cultural one, that this is a very loaded term for people like myself, and definitely for the society from which I come from. It's a charged term, and the immediate association for people in Israel when you talk about ethnic cleansing is with Nazi Germany. And I decided to use this paradigm or this concept not because I wanted to equate what Israel had been doing to the Palestinians in the last 100 years to what the Nazis did to the Jews in the Second World War. I opted for this concept because I thought it was a very comprehensive paradigm for understanding what motivates first the Zionist movement and later the State of Israel in its attitudes and policies towards the native indigenous population of Palestine. And this is the reason I'm using it, not because I want to demonize the Zionist movement or the State of Israel, or because I want to make any flimsy associations with other ideological movements, but because I really think that this explains to me, as an historian, very well what had been going on in Palestine in the last 60, maybe 100 years. Let me first start with definitions of ethnic cleansing and maybe some legal definitions of ethnic cleansing before trying to apply the paradigm or the concept to the case study of Palestine and Israel I'm interested in. Ethnic cleansing, of course, is a very ancient mode of behavior of one group towards another. From biblical times until today, we come across different junctures in history where one group of people expels another group of people for various reasons and by various means to turn a mixed area into a homogeneous area. The modern literature on ethnic cleansing, especially the legal modern literature on ethnic cleansing, is very recent and has a lot to do with the civil war in the Balkans, in the ex-Yugoslavian Republic, where massive expulsions of ethnic groups resulted in the intervention of the International Court in The Hague, in the international legal community in these cases, and actually it's the first time that we have a legal perspective on such political and military actions of one group against the other. And because it became not just a political issue, and not just a moral issue, not just an ideological issue, because it became also a legal issue, I think it required the international community to offer some clearer definitions for the act. So in fact, in many ways, this policy of ethnically cleansing a population became a clearer concept in the minds of legal experts because of the international legal community intervention in former Yugoslavia. And in fact, one of the group of experts to lead the way in trying to define what ethnic cleansing is all about from a legal point of view was the legal section of the American State Department. And they have a very clear definition of ethnic cleansing. They define the term, and I quote, as the systematic and forced removal of the members of an ethnic group from communities in order to change the ethnic composition of a given region. In the U.S. Senate Foreign Relations Committee, there was a big debate about how to define ethnic cleansing in 1992, and the result was another definition which is not that different from the legal definition of the State Department. Ethnic cleansing is described as the process of population transfers aimed at removing the one ethnic population from large area of another ethnic group. The forced movement of civilian population by systematic destruction of homes, of looting of personal property, beatings, selective and random killings, and massacres. The United Nations a year later went one step further and deliberated the implications of such policies. How should the international community react to such policies? And it was the United Nations Human Rights Committee that defined ethnic cleansing as a crime against humanity. And on the basis of this definition, later in the late 1990s, people who were directly involved in ethnic cleansing were brought to trial in the International Court in The Hague. And since then, the literature, the legal literature on ethnic cleansing grew, increased. And if I would sum it up in just 1 minute, I would say that there are three interesting elements in the way that the international legal community treats ethnic cleansing. One, that the intention is far more important than the means, because different cases of ethnic cleansing can occur, but the very intention to remove one ethnic group for the sake of another, even if the means are not directly violent, is defined as a crime against humanity. And secondly, that the legal community was aware that acts in the past were also ethnic cleansing, even if the term was not used and and people were not brought to trial in previous cases. And thirdly, that this is not, and this is very important, I think, for what I would like to say this afternoon. It is not a war crime in the sense that this is not something that emanates from a military action. It's not a military action gone wrong, which can happen. It's not massacre of civilians as part of a military operation. It's a very well constructed and planned program to expel people, among other things, by military means, but not only by military means. Now, if I apply